Hi, everyone, and welcome to StartEngine's third ever demo day. I am Johanna Cronin, and we are very excited. We have some great companies today that are going to be pitching. As a reminder, all of these companies are live on StartEngine right now, and you will have an opportunity to ask them questions after their 5-minute pitch. So I would like to get started with New Haven Community Solar. We have Franz, who is going to be pitching. Franz, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great, take it away.
All right, excellent. Hello and good morning, everyone. I'm Franz Hochstrasser, the co-founder and chief executive officer for New Haven Community Solar, where we're driven by an ethos of fighting for social justice and building a clean energy future that we all own and benefit from. Climate change is already impacting every sector of the economy in every region of the world, and the adverse impacts fall disproportionately on the most vulnerable populations. Every year, air pollution kills as many people as live in New York City. The same antecedents for air pollution and climate change are causing adverse health impacts to underserved populations. And income is the largest social determinant of health, with income inequality worse than it has ever been. Our company works to build impactful projects that lower energy costs, seek to reduce air pollution exposure for underserved populations, and create a new investment pathway that's accessible to all. Next slide, please. The U.S. Energy Information Administration says that Connecticut has the highest electricity costs in the continental U.S. At 22 cents per kilowatt hour as a statewide average. That's double the national average of 12 cents. This can place additional stresses on low-income residents that may be prone to recidivism and to homelessness. Our first project will greatly reduce the electricity bills of future residents, helping them stay in their home and freeing up income through decreasing electricity bills becoming a health co-benefit. Impact investing has grown more than 1,000-fold over the last 20 years, and asset managers have sought to meet that thirst with more financial products and instruments that offer environmental, social, and governance benefits in addition to financial returns. But let's face it, Apple's not a real sustainability stock. Even though it tops most of the sustainability indices, planned obsolescence for more e-waste does not cut carbon pollution or improve societal resilience. In addition, it can be difficult for organizations like nonprofits, churches, schools, and community centers to get financing to build small-scale shared solar projects. But Connecticut just passed a new community solar bill that mandates 300 megawatts of new solar panels over the next 5 years, and we plan to capture a portion of that market. But this isn't just a theory. New Haven Community Solar is financing a 9.5 kilowatt solar array located on the Button Street project in New Haven, Connecticut. Next slide, please. The lot on Button Street is the site of this year's annual Jim Block first-year building project, a partnership between the Yale School of Architecture and the Columbus House, a nonprofit organization based in New Haven that serves people who are homeless or at risk of becoming homeless by providing shelter and housing and by fostering their personal growth and independence. The Jim Block first-year building project began in 1967 and gives Yale students an opportunity to design and build a house in an economically challenged neighborhood in New Haven. The program is mandatory for first-year graduate students in the School of Architecture, and many of them arrive at Yale with a special interest in social responsibility and design. Once complete, this house will contain 2 units and provide recently homeless people with a brand new home. New Haven Community Solar is a project company that will finance an array on that roof, providing its residents with cheap renewable energy in a state with one of the highest electricity costs. And this project aims to improve the livelihoods of those residents and minimize environmental impacts while allowing investors, you all, to benefit. And this is just the beginning of something much bigger. We're offering you a chance to truly put your money to work, making the world a better place, and an opportunity to share the benefits and risks of small investments in small-scale community solar projects through crowdsourcing. Next slide, please. As recent graduates of the Yale School of Forestry and Environmental Studies, we feel a deep connection to the New Haven community, and we are relentlessly passionate about democratizing the ownership of renewable energy and empowering communities to drive solutions to climate change. We're working with the Yale Blockchain Initiative and the MIT Open Innovation Lab to pioneer applications of Hyperledger-enabled technologies in the energy space. We have more than 30 years of professional experience combined working on environmental, energy, and natural resources issues across government, nonprofits, and the private sectors, at home and abroad, and we recognize the real impact that has to start in our own backyard. That's why we're proud of what we've created, and we're excited for what's to come. And we want you to join us in this ability to deliver on the vision together. Last slide, please. So we've already come a long way, but we need your help to take the next step. If we raise our maximum, we can continue to finance solar on future building projects and deeply engage in the research and knowledge generation that it will take to scale this model. New Haven Community Solar is a mission-driven project company intent on serving as a living laboratory to push the limits of new software, hardware, and software applications to bring together fintech, clean tech, and impact investing, all while benefiting those that need it the most. Our company is positioning itself at the forefront of thought leadership and service to low to middle income populations that might otherwise get left behind in the transition to a clean energy economy. We can no longer afford to leave our money in savings accounts making less than 1% as we stand by and watch problems get worse. We invite you to join us on this journey to make your money make good. We all need to act, and now's the time. Thank you, and I'm happy to take questions, and thanks for your attention.
Great. Thank you so much, Franz. So we have a few questions from viewers. The first one is, where are you getting the solar panels for the installation? Are you using a well-established panel company to supply these panels?
Yes, we are. We're working with a local installer that has a great reputation in the New Haven area. And they have locations across the country as well. So it's a well-established installer. We're not doing the installation ourselves. We're simply financing the installation.
And who is responsible for selling the electricity produced by the project? Will you only be selling this cheap electricity to nonprofits in the local area?
So we're currently negotiating a long-term contract with Columbus House, pursuant to which New Haven Community Solar would generate revenue by selling electricity from the rooftop array to the Columbus House. And so we believe that if we're able to successfully negotiate that agreement, based on our modeling and sensitivity analyses, and assuming that our assumptions about the short-term and long-term performance of the project and the local market are accurate, then we should be able to give a reasonable likelihood that the project would, over its lifespan, generate revenue in excess of our current projections of its cost. And the agreement's in the final review with the Columbus House and with their council. So we're hopeful that we'll be able to close that soon.
Great. And we just have a few more questions. We have one that is, what do you plan to do with the funds that you raise on StartEngine?
Great question. So we have detailed a lot of that in our use of proceeds, but just to review it. So if we're able to raise the $39,900, which is our target raise in there, that will enable us to finance the array on the one project and fully pay for it and cover the costs of the installation to provide that power to Columbus House for the next 5 years in advance of the sale offering. And so that's our intent. At the moment, yeah. So the standard StartEngine minimum offering of $10,000 would be insufficient for us to purchase the solar array outright. And so we need to look for other resources for financing if we're not able to manage to raise our target. But as I said, if we're able to raise $39,900, that will put us in a position to finance the array for 5 years at least. And then if we oversubscribe, we're really excited about the prospect of that, because we would use additional net proceeds of the roughly $90,000 that are built into the oversubscription to do all sorts of exciting research and potentially even build a second array for next year's building project with Columbus House, subject to negotiation.
Great. And the last question is, you mentioned that you're working with blockchain and hyperledger projects. Can you explain that more? And is that part of this project?
Yeah, I'll take this one. My name's Matt Maroney. I'm the Chief Technical Officer and co-founder. We're very excited about community solar and especially some of the emerging software technologies that are being deployed in this space. We have been working to build collaborations with the Yale Blockchain Initiative over the course of the summer, and they're excited to use this project as a living laboratory to demonstrate multiple deployments of distributed ledger or blockchain technologies. The first would be kind of real-time monitoring and creating a platform whereby the utilities could reduce their operational burden by having kind of summarized energy transaction of generation and consumption. And this is kind of demonstrating a new model of what electricity generators could do to interact with utilities. So we're really quite excited about that. We're also, our second deployment that we're going to pioneer is highly detailed information on terms of the carbon reductions. So typically with carbon reductions, it just tells you how many pounds of carbon dioxide is reduced from a project. However, we're interested in testing out this software to actually stamp additional metadata, such as what is the income distribution of the neighborhood, what is the air pollution at the time of the renewable energy credit, and that would give much more granular data in preparation for carbon trading markets. So for us, this is really quite exciting. We think that testing out and exploring these deployment opportunities for blockchain would really thrust New Haven Community Solar in the forefront of energy software research and development.
That's great. Thank you so much, Franz and the New Haven Community Solar team. As a reminder to anyone who is watching, you can ask questions in the comment section on the right-hand side of the video, and we'll be asking those questions during the Q&A portion. Up next, we have Darby with Smoke Cartel. Darby, can you hear me? Darby? Let's see. It looks like we are just checking in to make sure we have Darby, who is queued up next for Smoke Cartel.
Hello, everyone.
Great.
Welcome. My name is Darby Cox, and we are Smoke Cartel. We are a leading online retailer and wholesaler of smoking accessories and gear, and we are very excited to be able to let y'all in on the ground floor as we make some exciting moves into the ancillary cannabis market. Next slide. We have been in operations for 5 years now, and we've traditionally seen a 50 to 20% growth rate in our first few years of operations. This has been really exciting for us, this tremendous growth as the cannabis industry has been expanding rapidly. And in the last year, we've really focused on building a strong platform to allow us to fundraise and prepare our business for the stringent requirements of being a long-staying public company. We closed our last year with a 5.9 million revenue, 3.6 million of that was profit, and our EBITDA was 46,000 as we reinvested back into the company's growing and staying power. Our product design and technological backbone is our claim to fame and really what we think is going to allow us to continue our revolutionary growth for the next few years. Next slide. So a little bit about us. My name is Darby Cox, and I am the CEO and chairman of Smoke Cartel. It does make me a little awkward to talk about myself, so I'm going to hop on over here to my business partner, Sean Gang, who came up with the idea for Smoke Cartel and is really our technological backbone. Sean is strong in cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, and is also a full stack developer and leads out our tech team of programmers and has really come up with all of the ideas and scalability of our revolutionary tech platform that we call Warely. We've just added on our first board of directors member, Charles Bowen. He has been named the Business Advocate of the Year and Savannah's Best Lawyer. So we are very thrilled for the legal expertise that he's been providing to our company as we continue to go through the legal hoops of being a public company. Next slide. So why invest in Smoke Cartel? The majority of Americans support cannabis usage, and we have a very strong and playful brand name that our consumers really enjoy interacting with. The cannabis industry has experienced tremendous growth in the last 4 to 10 years, and we are seeing states rapidly change their laws and their approach to cannabis as we are seeing new research and medical studies enter the market that are really changing how the general public views this plant and all of the things that our economy can really do with cannabis. Next slide. So how do we plan on growing with Smoke Cartel? Primarily because of our tech software, Warely, we've been able to really dig down onto our analytics and sales of products, not only along our own retail sites, but all of our network sites that we handle fulfillment and services for and wholesaling for as well. So that's really allowed us to develop this strong product that is e-commerce focused and we believe will be functional in other industries despite the cannabis industry. So our primary target for Q4 will be launching our e-commerce search engine that we've just started using on Smoke Cartel. This is part of the Warely tech, and so far we've seen tremendous conversion rate improvement and accuracy of results using our e-commerce-based search engine. As well, for growth, we do plan on working into new markets. We did acquire Early Bird in late 2017, which allowed us to move into the cannabis pet market. You may not know, but Americans spent over $80 million on Halloween costumes for their pets last year. So we're very thrilled to be moving into this lucrative market as well. Of course, product design is always something that we will really focus on as Smoke Cartel and increasing our higher margined products as we continue to grow. I would love to open up the floor for any questions. Please hit me with all you've got.
Great. Thank you so much, Darby. The first question that we have is, you have customers in over 50 countries. Where are your strongest markets? Darby, can you hear me? Darby? Darby, can you hear me now? Darby?
Hello?
Darby, can you hear me now? Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, it seems like we're having some minor technical difficulties.
Can you hear me? What about now?
I can hear you,
So
Darby.
the United States is our primary market, but in the last year we have seen expansion into Canada, Australia, and Spain as we are seeing international countries begin legalization. That's something that's very exciting for us as new opportunities approach in the coming years. But for now, the United States has really been leading the focus on cannabis revolutions.
Great. Next question is, you mentioned you did 5.9 million in revenue last year. Can you break that down in terms of where that revenue came from? Did you have particular products that performed exceptionally well? Okay, it seems like we are having some technical difficulties, so I am going to be moving to...
So our 5.9 million in revenue, that all comes from primarily our retail sales, around 70%, as our wholesale end we did just acquire around 1.5 to 2 years ago. The products that did the best for us were our glass products. I can give you specifics on that. Our Sesh Supply Pan is a tremendous seller, as well as our Sesh Supply Glass Blunts. That's something that we manufacture ourselves and came up with the idea for, and has been a very tremendous product in our market. We're also seeing vaporizer sales improve and increase as new users are typically going to vaporizers to get them into cannabis smoking as a new user rather than picking up a glass piece as their first introduction to the market.
Great. Thank you so much, Darby from Smoke Cartel. As a reminder, you can check out their Start Engine page. We have a link in the comment section. Next up is Joe from Tribal Rides. Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Great. Let's take it away.
Thanks so much for having me on this program. We'll start off with this first slide. I'd like to introduce three basic ideas. Here at Tribal Rides, we believe that there are three transformative and disruptive technologies made possible by the Internet of Things, what people call IoT. The first everybody's familiar with is the internet-based virtual communities like Facebook and Instagram. I think we take them for granted now, so ubiquitous are they in our society. The next is cryptocurrency, something started by Satoshi Nakamoto, what we call utility tokens. And an example of that is Bitcoin and the blockchain technology and smart contracts. And third, which is emerging right now, is evidenced by a new transportation paradigm shift. And that's self-driving cars and autonomous driving. And that's easily seen by Tesla's new cars and Google's Waymo. So make no mistake, this time for self-driving cars and autonomous driving is now. On the next slide, we delve into self-driving cars and autonomous driving a little bit more. According to Wired magazine, driverless tech, autonomous driving, will add $7 trillion, that's trillion with a T, dollars to global economy. Google's Waymo has logged more than 8 million self-driving cars. To give you a context, that's 320 times around the globe. All Tesla models now come standard with the hardware necessary for self-driving cars, what they call autopilot capabilities. In California alone, there are 52 different companies that have been approved by the California DMV. And in 2017, 33 states introduced self-driving car legislation. So on the next slide, you'll see what we're doing, what Tribal Rides is doing. We are merging these technologies, self-driving cars and autonomous vehicles, the Ethereum blockchain and smart contracts, and virtual communities. And we're providing those technologies through Gotopia, which is our new software platform for shared ride and self-driving cars. And what's energizing Gotopia is Go, our new utility token for this system. Next page. So who is Tribal Rides? Well, we're a 4-year-old corporation, and our goal is to create the world's best mobility application. Currently, we're in the design phase of development for this new software platform we call Gotopia, merging transportation, technology, and community paradigms into a single platform. We have patents as of May 2018 for smart anticipatory deployment of these cars and predictive analytics for shared ride and self-driving cars. Our design team is world-class PhDs with lots of experience in software, logistics, and blockchain technology. Currently, we're cultivating business relationships with shared ride and self-driving car, rental car, software development, and IoT-based companies. Next slide. Our other non-traditional marketing areas that we're pursuing is we're engaged with mobility as a service. That industry, both US and European focus. Examples of that is Mass Global and Mass Alliance. We're reaching out to autonomous robo-taxis like Waymo, Zoox, and Drive. And curious enough, they've already rolled out prototypes in Tokyo and Las Vegas and other locations. What they call free-floating non-self-driving car share operators like Lyft and Uber. There are many more out there that we're reaching out to. Currently, they have challenges associated with matching demand with supply, and we believe our smart deployment and our predictive analytics really help solve this problem. Examples are P2P car sharing, Getaround, and Turo, and of course, all the OEM manufacturers associated with EV cars. One is just going public, Chinese, next week. And a little talked about area, which is called microtransit scheduling and logistics. So what are we doing? We're introducing a new way to invest in this future. It's the Tribal Rides offer. We're providing a utility token as well as an equity token, Tribal Rides and Go. I hope everybody follows our progress on startengine.com/tribal rides. Thank you for your attention.
Great. Thank you so much, Joe. We do have a few questions from the audience. And just to echo what Joe said, you can find that URL to the campaign page in the comment section next to the video. The first question is, how are virtual communities made possible by the Internet of Things? It seems like those are unrelated, and I want you to know how you think IoT influences digital communities.
Great question. So the Internet of Things connects different communities. A lot of it is cloud-based. For Facebook, for Twitter, for Instagram to be able to aggressively touch all the different communities in the globe, it requires the Internet of Things. As those companies move forward with technology, they're adding smart devices, they're adding something that is emerging right now called the industrial Internet of Things. Without the Internet, there is no Facebook. Without the Internet, there is no Instagram or Smart Chat. What was the second part of the question?
The second part of the question was, it seems like those are unrelated, and I want to know how you think the Internet of Things influences digital communities.
Yeah, fascinating studies that are coming out right now on the Internet of Things, both B2B as well as the industrial Internet of Things. It requires AI, it requires machine learning, it requires cloud-based data processing and deep data science. And you can see it moving forward with smart homes, with the ability to adjust energy requirements instantaneously. And we believe that the IoT with these communities, the IoT with self-driving cars, the IoT with blockchain is critical and is gaining a mass to provide a huge opportunity for us.
Great. And two more questions. Do you have any business partnerships in place with companies building autonomous vehicles?
No, we do not. We currently have NDAs in place and are working on memos of understanding with these companies, and we hope to announce those formal partnerships very soon.
Last question. What do you plan to do with the funds you raise on StartEngine?
The need of the funds really go to the development of our software platform called Gotopia. Being able to roll that out in a prototype phase, we're working with the University of Nevada right now within the context of their university. It's a closed system and easily modeled. They have some very powerful data centers which we're able to run our algorithms and heuristics with. I'd like to just return to that earlier question if I could. 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, we went to a very dominant self-driving car manufacturer based in Fremont, and they have a battery factory in Nevada. And I'm under NDA. I can't mention the name, but they're very enthusiastic about what we're doing and the need for it and that process. And we were told back then that please come back when you have intelligent proprietary patents on those ideas. And as of May, late May, we've got it. So our plan is to continue to move forward with that relationship, and we hope to mature it.
That's great. Thank you so much, Joe. Up next, we have Dorothy from Considered Thoughtfully. Dorothy, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Great. Take it away.
Hello. My name is Dorothy McKinney. I'm the founder and CEO of Considered Thoughtfully. Let me share with you my vision for the future of mentoring at work. Chatbot avatars will provide 80 to 90% of the mentoring employees need, and human-to-human mentoring will handle the remaining mentoring needs. Next page, please. After several years of research and feasibility analysis, in late 2014, I concluded that the needed technologies have matured to the point where an automated mentoring system is fully feasible. I then founded this company, together with a small number of co-founders, to bring this vision to life. Chatbot avatar mentors will come to provide the bulk of workplace mentoring soon. If my company does not do it, someone else will. My company has a combination of mentoring insights and technology expertise to do this successfully, but we need more funding to make this happen. I personally believe in this so strongly that I have put over $400,000 of my own money and the last 4 years of my own time into the company to get us to this point. We have developed working prototype products, including a chatbot avatar, which interviews prospective users, and an automated mentor called My Career Mentor, which currently uses text and graphics to provide mentoring, and which we plan to upgrade to use chatbot technology with the money we're raising. We have also developed supporting mini courses and assessments to cover key topics not available elsewhere online. Next page, please. The problem we are solving is a very real one. Employees today are part of the access generation. They expect to be able to readily access any information they need. But with all of the information out there, searching for information to get the help employees need to make career progress often results in information overload. Too much information to absorb, let alone act on. This is why the best advice aspiring employees get is to find a mentor. Unfortunately, even within companies with active mentoring programs, there are far more employees who need mentoring than there are experienced employees with the time and willingness to be mentors. Companies are spending huge amounts of money to train and develop their employees. Automated virtual mentoring offers a very cost-effective way for them to provide mentoring to all of their employees. For the largest corporations, we expect that they will find it cost-effective to tailor the mentoring advice and links we offer to match their own company environment. Next page, please. The working prototypes we have developed are mature enough to start marketing to a few of the large companies we think can benefit most from using our products. Working in partnership with these initial customers, we can mature our products to the point where a broad marketing effort will attract many customers. We plan to reach break-even in the second quarter of 2020 and achieve the market penetration shown on the previous chart by 2023. Next page, please. We think the delivery mechanism, chatbot avatars, and the quality of the mentoring content are equally important. Our approach is to offer users opportunities to learn by doing and provide just as much supporting information as they individually want. In other words, rather than giving them a lot to read or telling them what they should do, we offer them activities they can do quickly and easily in their own work environments to learn what works well for them individually. This mentoring content is based on patterns I have observed in over 45 years of doing face-to-face, telephone, and computer-mediated mentoring myself. These patterns have proven to help employees in a wide variety of professional fields grow and develop very successfully. In addition to experienced mentors, our team also includes millennials with several years of hands-on experience in the latest technologies of chatbot avatars and online delivery of information. In conclusion, I am convinced that the revolution in technology, which enables us to use chatbot avatars to interact with employees to provide needed mentoring, is here today. With your help, we can bring this technology to market and achieve business success while providing a sorely needed service to the world. If you share our vision that chatbot avatars offer huge promise for employee mentoring, please invest and consider thoughtfully. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you so much, Dorothy. So we have a few questions from the audience. The first one is, what type of mentoring do you see these AI-powered chatbots doing in the workplace? And at what point do human mentors need to step in?
So there are, as I said, an estimate of 80 to 90% of the mentoring content that employees need, especially in their first 10 years or so of work on the job and after they hit a career plateau and need to restart their career progress, we believe can be provided through these patterns that we've identified. The biggest focus we've had so far has been what are called soft skills. And we have some information on technical, how to find technical information for specific professions. Essentially, the reason that you would transition to a human mentor is when you run into a problem that is extremely company specific and trying the various approaches that we suggest don't result in any progress.
And how are you training the chatbots to improve their mentoring?
So at the moment, we have a manual feedback loop. That is, feedback from users is analyzed by our team and results in changes and improvements to the mentoring content. We've identified potential technologies that could do automated, essentially AI learning. We have not implemented any of those yet, and I think that's probably a phase 3. We've done phase 1, which is the initial prototypes. Phase 2 is making the mentoring product fully chatbot avatar implemented instead of just the initial interview. And then phase 3 will be automating some of those feedback loops.
And the last question, do you have any customers currently, and what is your plan or strategy to acquire more?
So we do not have any current customers. The test marketing we've done so far has been to individuals because we were seeking to get feedback on the user interface, the usefulness of the content, and that feedback from individual users has been extremely useful. We envision having probably some individual users going forward, but the main revenue source is corporation. We do have a number of small companies that have indicated that they are willing to use our product, and we have identified some large companies, including former employers of some of our principals, that have tentatively indicated an interest. We don't have any firm customers at this point.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Dorothy. And that is Considered Thoughtfully. Again, you can find the link to their Start Engine page in the comments section. Last up, we have Alan from Bond Film. Alan, can you hear me?
Yeah, Vlad. Hi.
Oh, Vlad. Great. Okay. Take it away, Vlad.
Hey, so my name is Vlad Lobeck. I'm the founder of Bond Film Platform. And Bond is a next generation video streaming service for premium content from independent creators. Next slide, please. So Bond connects creators of original content, audiences, and investors on one global streaming platform. The core of our platform is a decentralized economy, which is based on 3 principles. First is the financing of new content through crowd investing. Second is storing content ownership on the blockchain. And third is automated and decentralized revenue distribution according to Opium formula. Now, it's important to note that Bond has a unique token economy with revenue distribution based on subscription payments. Now, to go one by one, crowd investing. On Bond, independent filmmakers can pitch new projects to their crowd, describing what they want to produce, how they plan to do it, how much money they need, like they do today on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. But instead of perks and pledges like a t-shirt or a mug that they would get on other platforms, investors will receive channel stakes, which actually represent percentage of content ownership. This means that those who fund the new projects will actually receive percentage of future revenues from those projects. On Bond, there is no middleman who decides which projects get financing and which does not. It is decided by the audience. And there is no middleman to decide who receives the revenues and who does not. Again, all revenues are distributed automatically. To access premium content on the streaming platform, users pay fixed monthly subscription fee, like they did today at Netflix, Amazon, Hulu. But instead of keeping those revenues to the platform, Bond will distribute them directly to the owners of the content. How? Very simply. Every time the user watches a film or a TV show, our algorithm will sell some part of their monthly payment to the owners of the video. This means that on our platform, there will be no free views. If a video is being watched, it is automatically being paid for. So viewers can support their favorite authors by simply watching their content. So to recap, Bond is a video streaming platform, it's a crowd investing platform, and it's an economy which provides a solution for monetization of the video content. Next slide, please. Now, we all love to watch videos online, right? We'll pay for premium content to watch premium content online. But did you know that existing online platforms, online streaming platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, they offer little or no monetization to the creators of video content. So those platforms also decide which content will be produced next because they invested in it. But that's not the only way the media industry can function. With Bond, monetization of content becomes a clear and transparent process. Bond's economy benefits all participants. Creators monetize their works and get funding for new projects from their fans. Audiences watch new content which they selected and they funded. Anyone can become an investor and receive revenues from successful projects. Next slide, please. The growth strategy is something that we're actually doing right now. We're actually have a alpha version. We're doing aggressive marketing to use money that we raised towards aggressive marketing in the future. Our goal is to reach creators, to reach viewers, and to reach investors, and to bring them together on one platform, to give them tools which they will, with which they will build communities and will incentivize each other to produce and create amazing content. Next slide, please. Next. Yeah, thank you. We know it may take time to change the way the current video market works. It may take a long time, but we also know that this is the way the video market should function. So if you want to help us make this vision a reality, we invite you to join our community of supporters and invest in Bond. Thanks.
A few questions. First, when did you release the pre-alpha of Bond? What has feedback been so far?
We actually released pre-alpha about a month ago, and we already started uploading some content. We already have some creators lined up. We're finishing some things that they require, I don't think, for the revenue distributions for the payment system, and we also need to finish a few legal things that would take us less than a month. So I think as soon as we have the beta version, which should happen at the end of September, we'll be ready to onboard the creators that we already have. And obviously we will use whatever money we raise to reach more creators and to reach more audiences and to fill Bond with amazing content.
And can you go deeper into the monetization of the content idea? Say I post a video on Bond and 100 people watch my video in the first day. How much money would I make with that 100 views?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you so much. Yeah. So just to give you an example of how much a creator can make a Bond, we can do a simple calculation. It's really simple. So the monthly premium membership on Bond is $5 right now. $3 out of this $5 are distributed within the creators, and I said according to the formula. Now let's say some video receives 100,000 views, which is, again, by today's standards, it's not a lot. We can even say that the whole channel, it's more or less like a YouTube, but the format is like a YouTube. There are channels and there are videos. So let's say that all the videos on the channel, you're the owner of the channel, receives 100,000 views during 1 month, right? It's not a very popular channel by today's standards. And again, no streaming platform in the world will be able to monetize such a channel. But let's calculate the revenue for the owners of that channel on Bond. So by statistics, the average user watches no more than 30 different creators, basically, you can say channels, right, each month. This means that our channel will receive at least 10 cents from each viewer, right? So the $3 that are distributed, at least 30, like if you watch 30 channels, then at least 10 cents will go to each channel. So if you have 10,000 views, 100,000 views, you have 10 cents per view. your channel will receive 10,000 US dollars. That's the minimum. That's the bare minimum that your channel will receive at the end of the month with 100,000 views. So you can imagine what will happen if creators will start bringing to the platform amazing content, interesting content. The communities will be created that will surround those creators, and every view will be monetized. And again, it's the way the economy monetizes it has no there's nothing to compare it to from existing platforms today. There's no platform in the world that can monetize 100,000 views to $10,000 at the minimum.
Great. And then the last question, what is your market strategy to recruit content creators to bond and get them on the platform?
We're working with film schools. We're going to film festivals. We're talking to popular YouTubers, to independent filmmakers, to producers. We actually, one of our founders, as you can see at the slide, is the member of U.S. Television Academy, is the Oscar nominee. So we do have connections to Hollywood, even though what we're building is actually goes against the currently accepted models in Hollywood. We're able to convince and acquire a lot of creators who actually believe in this model, and we will continue doing that. We will go to the festivals, to all the places where they study, where they shoot, and we will actually bring this idea to them and bring their platform to them, and we'll convince them to bring their content to their viewers directly without the middleman.
Great. And that wraps up Bond, and that was our final presentation. Thank you everyone for attending. This was our third demo day. As a reminder, if you have additional questions for the founders and CEOs, you can go to their campaign page on StartEngine. We have all of the links in the comments section, and you can ask those questions in the comments. I wanted to speak very quickly about the StartEngine Summit, which is coming up this October in Santa Monica, California. For anyone who attended the last two summits, they have been sold out. We are expecting at least 1,000 people coming to this summit in October. So if you're interested in purchasing your ticket, the next 3 days would be a good time. We're going to have a Labor Day sale. So you can go now to StartEngineSummit.com and enter the code Labor Day to get a discount that ends on Monday. And thank you, everyone.